I'll come back to the Zoom screen in just a minute. I'll come back to this. I was already filming and I didn't know it. All right. Guys, I'm screaming because welcome YouTube. I will be over on Zoom. I welcome you. I'm so glad you're here. Let me try to shrink my screen a little bit in case YouTube comments pop up, but I don't think I'm getting the scroll of comments, guys, from YouTube. So if you are continuously commenting, but I'm not reacting to the comments because I can't see it anymore. All right. Thank you for being here. We will begin. I'm Elizabeth. This is Willow Root Tarot. I love that you're on my channel. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. It makes such a huge difference in my life. And potentially in yours. All right. Look, I forgot to say something. Oh, in the very beginning of the video, in all of my videos, I never know when YouTube's actually starting to record because it doesn't cue me in. So that's me just talking. We are going to begin this morning as we have begun the Oracle. This is what it looks like. This is Juliet Diaz and did I say that right? Yeah, that's right. What is it? Lorraine Anderson. And Lorraine Anderson. And this particular deck is illustrated by Tajana Lukovic. So the illustrators will change throughout the series. There's 8 in the series. But there are repetition in the illustrators. Like Tajana Lukovic did a few. Giada Rose did at least one, the last one, the built-in one. Let's go to the back. So this is Letha Oracle. That's the pagan holiday that we are sitting in right now. It is it coordinates with summer. Like we look at 4 seasons throughout the year. We also look like, say, perhaps in your career, your year is broken down by the quarter that you're currently working and living in. The seasons also exist as quarters of the year that man created. Linear time did not come about. The acknowledgement of linear time came about with man's desire to acclimate to his life or her life or their life by time. And considering that, this just occurred to me, when we started to create clocks, watches, pocket watches, anything that could help us tell time, but in a transportable way, wristwatch, not everyone could afford that. Not everyone could actually afford to know what time it was, but they toiled on, and it was definitely the less money you had, the less social status you had, and the less of an ability to tell time. Was there a clock tower in town? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they could read the sun. But it's still the idea as a status symbol. Time got turned into a hierarchy, a status symbol. I have time to waste. There's not enough time. Pay me for my time. And yet time exists regardless of your existence. All right, let's see what card we got. All right. Woo! We got this. No, didn't get this the other day. This is the card we didn't get, but I showed you because it was so cool. Rot and Decay, which I get it. Oh, it's Rot and Decay. But look at the unicorn skull, which I'm still not sure I should be that happy about, but I think it's fabulous. I just realized her eyes are covered. I just saw that. Holy crap. She's wearing flowers over her eyes. And on her solar plexus is a moon. This is really pretty. I need to set that card. Okay. Tell myself that all the time. 31. Oh my God. Bloody Tomato Love Spell. What card is that for? Hold on, guys. That's for Heirloom Tomatoes, which looks like a love card. It is Love, Passion, and Lust. Okay, card 16. I gotta remember that. So, but we're looking at card 31. Rotten Decay. I'm talking about a love card, and this is Rotten Decay. But again, Rotten Decay brought about a unicorn skull. I can't wait to find out what happened. Rot and Decay. Keywords: cycles of life and death, sacrifice for the greater good. The card itself says, it festers when left in the shadows. Bring it to life by giving it away. Yeah, like, it could be highly organized, a highly organized maximalist. I'm a maximalist, I have a lot of stuff, and I'm not organized, but I'm not a hoarder. That's where I was gonna go. Like, um, bring it to life by giving it away. It can be a thought. Maybe you've been working on a project and you have wonderful ideas for this project, but you're not sharing them. You're simply hoarding the ideas. Four of Pentacles can lead to this kind of hoarding energy in tarot. You're hoarding the idea, you're not sharing it. It's not seeing the light of day because it's yours. It's yours to keep. It's yours to manipulate. It's yours to curate. It is, but you can still share it. This is a form of hoarding. It's not necessarily going to help you. You can share an idea, an intellectual idea, and get feedback to help build on that idea. And yes, you have then put it into the public domain, but that is not necessarily to be viewed as now it's going to be stolen. You simply share. That's it. And sharing, many times you'll receive something in return, something good. At the least, you put out into the universe that you are a sharer. You will share. I have found that in my own life, even on projects that are big, or I will come up with some tarot stuff that I'm like, I don't know if anyone else has ever talked about this. Like, this is big. I'm very excited. I don't hoard it. I have definitely found that sharing it with like-minded people helps, not hinders. Because if nothing else, your name will be out there attached to this idea in some way. Someone will remember and maybe even verbalize, oh yeah, Elizabeth said that last year. You're still attached to it. It's okay. You're still going to get something from it. I believe. I apologize. I should not be telling you what to fucking do. I believe I will still get something from it, even when I share it. Okay. There's also the idea of hoarding. And I do get a slight whiff of that just from reading this card. Because if you have a closet full of boxes, full of containers, full of items, they're never, what are they doing? They're existing and they have energy, that's for sure, but you put them in jail, in a very dark jail if that closet door is closed and the light is off. So that's the energy you're creating. You're creating stagnation, impermanence, and a jail-like quality in your own life. If you are like, I don't want to get rid of those things though, I want to hold on to them, then make it part of your work week to get everything out of the closet once a week. If it's yours, you want it, you want to have something to do with it. Once a week. Does that sound like overwhelming? It does. Let's back it up to once a month. Once a month, can you unpack every closet, look at every item, put it back, shut the door, and know that in the next month you'll do it again, because you are going to revisit that closet until you're sure it's exactly what you want. And then guess what? You'll change your mind, because that's what we do. We evolve. You put that shit in that closet 6 years ago. You really still think you're the same person you were 6 years ago? Maybe, maybe not. Give yourself some fucking room to breathe. All right, let's see what our card says. Card 31. Flowers can't bloom forever, and even the summer experiences death, decay, and the need to sacrifice small parts for the health of the whole. It may seem like a waste on the surface, but Mother Nature knows what she's doing, and nothing dies in vain. Some fruits and vegetables will fall to the ground and rot, their sacrifice offering nourishment that makes for the most fertile soil. The more fruitful your life is, the more you have to sacrifice. With abundance also comes the need to shed what is weighing you down, has been forgotten, or wasn't sweet enough for your harvest. Rot and decay reminds you that abundance doesn't mean you need to have everything, for that would no longer be abundance, but greed. Rather, it means you have more than enough for the way you wish to live. If you find you are carrying too much, receiving this card is your sign to leave something behind in service of your greater good. Consider how you may be spreading yourself too thin, focusing on things you aren't passionate about, or holding on to ideas that are no longer facilitating your growth. Don't allow the need for more to weigh you down, in fear that your good favor will run out or that there won't be another chance. there will always be another season of harvest. Spring always comes, summer always comes. In the Elder Futhark, there's a rune for this, Yera. It is cycle, harvest. It is not stoppable. Did you ever wake up and go, I wonder if time's not going to exist today? Well, maybe, actually, never mind about that. The reality of time not existing is slim. Tomorrow will be here. You will exhale. Oh, that's that movie, Waiting There. But I mean that a cycle is a breath, or a year, or a lifetime. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go. We are gonna go to the blind spot as well, because those are the two decks in the temporarily in our permanent rotation. But we are gonna go to the Green Witch Oracle today. I like this deck. It's very fun. It's the art. I like the art. Let's see. This is the back. Not too many. I don't have too many decks in black on the back. And then this is just an example. This is not the card we pulled. You see the artwork? It's kind of, let me see. The artwork, very pretty. Has like a reality cottagecore reel to it. All right, let's see. So the Green Witches Oracle deck, and by Aaron, and that's ARIN, Aaron Murphy Hiscock, author of The Green Witch, and illustrated by Sarah Richard. Ooh, her. Like, fireplace area. You're hurt. I like that. Witches in time. That's a little different. Seed. There's acorns on here. I keep getting acorns. Okay. A lot of different kinds of seeds, including the I'm being a little bit silly right now. Is it sunflower? No, it's not sunflowers. What are the ones that get real puffy, the little white puffy balls, and then you blow on them and you make a wish, but they all over the place? They're on here too. Those are seeds. And all different kinds of seeds, including those acorns at the bottom. Oh, I have a deck that the Four of Cups, no, is it the Four of Cups or the Four of Swords? Probably cups, because they're acorn caps. They're letting, this little fairy's letting 4 acorn caps go into the water, and they each have a little candle in them. And I think it's in Enchanted Forest Tarot, but where is that? I need to get that deck out. I want to find that card, because I've been thinking about it for like 2 days straight. That card. All right, gotta get it out. Gotta get them all. Gotta catch them all. All right, seeds. It is not alphabetical. It is not numbered. 97. There is an index in the back. In the back of the book, the information that tells you where something's located is called your index. If you were in the front of the book, the same thing would be called the table of contents, but it would give you probably a little bit more like based on chapter. But the information does overlap. You can either go to the back of the book to your index or the front of the book for your table of contents. Seeds is page 97. So that's 16. Oh shit, girl. No, that's wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's not wrong. Sorry, I got mixed up. No, because oh, it's death, not the power. Death and the emperor. So this is going to be 16 is the tower. 16 is the tower in the major arcana. We also have the energy of the chariot, because 6 + 1 is 7. So we have 2 cards working, bringing their energy. The tower and the chariot. And they always commune because of the numerology behind them. They're always in communication. So that can be a good thing. The tower, a very basic keyword like sudden change, upheaval, right? But that can be good. Let's say you're pregnant and you finally went into labor. That's tower moment. That is a tower moment, but you're getting that fucking baby out. That's the chariot, because you can't stop that labor. You're not gonna want to stop it. If it's ready to go, let it go. Just like Anna, just like Frozen said, is that Anna? So the tower and the chariot can also be thoughts that you're having that will take you to the culmination of the project you've been working on, and it will be successful. It's not a good or bad thing. We're looking at what's happening around you in your reality. Where can you find the tower and the chariot together? It could be you just went out and had Mexican and you're gonna be on the toilet for the next hour. That is absolutely chariot rushing through your intestines from the tower, the reaction your body had to the burrito. I shouldn't use Mexican. I love Mexican, but whatever your intestines can be. So those are the energy, right? Or this, what I'm doing right now, this is power energy because this is an iced coffee, and I don't have that too much. Rev, vroom vroom. That's my tower, and my energy, the chariot. It's all in one, and I'm gonna drink it. You can drink the tower and energy. The sun rising is the tower and the chariot. The sun rising, the tower is all of the nocturnal animals are sensing that there is a disruption or change in their pace, and their circumstances have now changed. The tower. It's the rising of the sun to the chariot, the pace that the sun keeps until it sets. The tower again. Every one of us exists within these archetypes every fucking day. Well, yeah, maybe not every archetype, but an archetype. It is, I don't think, possible to avoid them. Comatose patient. The fool. The archetype of the fool. Right there. We can find it and make it work because there's no fucking wrong in tarot. All right, let's go to the book. Seeds. See all these seeds I'm planting, or at least giving? You can plant them. That's the thing. I'm a seed dealer. I'm your seed plug. I'll give you the seed. What are you going to do with it? You can chuck it. You can eat it. You can plant it. Whatever. You can hoard it. You can hoard the seed. I'm not hoarding seeds. I'm giving them away freely. And every time they grow, part of my energy grows with them. I give it away to grow. Oh, roots. Not what we pulled, but love it. And their skulls. This is a very pretty deck. Okay, let's look at seeds. So the keywords are new ideas, hope, and open-mindedness. This is a good client book, I call them, because look how brief you can speak with your client. It's super, super quick. I've got some of these that I can't even read because it takes 10 minutes to read one card. Okay, the card meaning for seeds. A seed contains the blueprint for an entirely new plan, a future living thing. It is a miracle that something so small holds the key to new life. There is so much potential within a seed. In fact, planting a seed is an act of hope. It's the first step in a project or undertaking, trusting that in the future you will actualize your dream. However, there's work ahead. If the seed sprouts, it will need care and attention to maximize its potential. You will need to nourish it to help it grow. The seeds card tells you that there is something worth your time that is waiting to be recognized. Be open to the messages nature has for you. Don't immediately dismiss ideas as far-fetched or impossible. Give them consideration. There may be something to learn. If you immediately say that's not possible, if you don't even try to work through any of the steps, you're dismissing something in its entirety. That is incredibly prejudiced, and it does showcase your bias. If I, however, take the time, even if I'm thinking, oh, I don't know about this, this don't look too good, I can still start the planning process because I will learn from the planning process. Truth, I will learn from the planning process. So even if I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want to do this no more, the amount that I have learned by the time I got to the point that I said, we're tweaking this, we're changing this, or we're just going to set this over on that shelf and do something with it later, maybe. I've learned. It's significant. And I've paid respect to what is existing in front of me by saying, let me learn about you, at least in some way. By letting a stranger talk, by smiling, being open, by going to meetings to show support, by me and my own energy, time, and what I value, I bring these messages, all of this. But we all get to do it, whatever we do, in our own way because our lenses are unique. I'll try to move the deck over there once I remove it if I know it's not in our temporary permanent rotation. Okay, so we're going to go to Teal Swan. It is not. What time is it? Oh, it isn't. The blind spot. What are we going fucking fool, man? I swear I read this deck and I'm like, she will say anything. Okay. I like it. 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 And I read runes, and I just created my own sigil deck. So I do like it. Oh, that's not it. This was on sale. I paid full price, y'all. I paid $34. last I looked, it was 26 and change on Amazon. However, half price books, maybe. I don't know. What else can I look at? There's a bunch of places, I'm sure. If you don't want to support one of the wealthiest men in the world, Bezos, you can go to another shopping venue. Even like Facebook Marketplace, maybe. I don't know. Like deck swaps, but how do you like if I have a really good deck, I'm not going to swap it with some crap deck. But my idea of how good my deck is might not be legitimate. So I wonder how they swap. I've been to one swap and it was with two of my friends. So we were very like, oh yeah, okay, that's fun. But I don't think I could do it with a bunch of strangers. I'm like, don't touch my stuff. All right, let's see what we got. So as I chat, and I'm shuffling, that's the energy that I am, the messages that I'm receiving are being translated into the stories that I tell, the situations that I share, right? Eight of Wands, the messages are always coming in. What are you doing with them? What are you doing with the seed, the message, right? We just talked about this. Let's find out. Maybe we're going to find out what a possibility of doing is with the seed or the message. Okay, my eyes always go right, like really far right in my head when I close my eyes. I try to make them go left. I'm making them go left right now. Woo, stretch those muscles. Eye muscles, really. You can work eye muscles. Yoga. Yoga works eye muscles. I do the yoga move to work eye muscles. Probably several. It's just look over your shoulder. Look as far, you turn your head comfortably and then look as far as you can with your eyes. Your chin's going to stop at some point. Your neck isn't going to rotate completely, but you can still just slightly look a little further with those eyes because you're working the eye muscles then. You're helping your peripheral vision. You want to see what's coming or do you want to be a fucking T-Rex? All right, that's stupid. Actually, I'm not sure if that's true. If T-Rex had that limited eyesight. No, you guys did hear it wasn't true. Like I said, everything I talk about is a translation of the messages I receive. I don't know if dinosaurs are going to pop up in here, but maybe visual acuity or very short arms. Lack of foresight and inability to access the T-Rex. Also prehistoric or archaic in nature and not needing to be resurrected. Personal opinion. So that was the T-Rex. You see how we just did a read on the T-Rex? Like we're not reading the T-Rex, we're reading the energy of the T-Rex. Why was I talking about a T-Rex potentially bad? 5, what a wonderful number. All of the cards are sigils. This is what you're getting. They're different sigils, but they're sigils. So if you're like, that does not look good, I don't think you might not want the deck. All right, but Teal Swan, you can check her out. She's got other writings. You might just like those better, maybe. I don't know. Let's see what she says. I'm not even gonna try. I'm looking at that. I'm seeing a screwed up looking kid, to be real. Kind of like there's this type of love that or not a type of love, but love can feel to me like like the person I love, we birthed something like energetically. We are connected in a way that I am not connected with others that I love. I love many people, but that love is not the same. Even in those that I have real deep love for, it's different. I feel it, I respect it. Love, once created, is its own entity. It is sentient. That's how I feel about all of the energy in the world. So this is something that people who are loving with one another, committed in their relationship for however long, and it doesn't have to be romantic, because mothers love their children, children love their fathers. You know, it's all of this love goes all around the world. It's all different kinds. I love my dogs. You know, I love breathing air because I love me. You know, but this is like the love that people convert. That can also be a that can also like be very careful here. That's real, but then it was immediately shown a cult, which I was talking about a cult this morning, so it's probably maybe why. But cults can convince you that it's love, right? So let's just be real careful with the cults. I don't know. I got a cult thing. I'm gonna go to the book because I'm gonna stop talking. Sometimes my mind says, stop talking. And I was starting to get that message. Oh, well, this is called bulldozing. This is called bulldozing. It's pretty. I do like it. Ooh. I like it like that. I don't. It looks like something Picasso would do. I don't know. Okay, let's see. 5, bulldozing. If you have drawn this sigil, you are bulldozing a part of yourself in this situation. Consciousness itself functions like water. If you are looking at a river from above, you can see that a large river often branches off into smaller rivers, and each time this happens, there is less water available to the main river. Due to trauma, which occurs in all people's lives with no exception, the question is simply to what degree. Our consciousness splits just like a river does. It splits so that instead of a whole, we are fragmented. It is easier to comprehend this process of splitting, that is, fragmentation, in terms of how it affects our being, by imagining that when our consciousness splits as a result of trauma, our ego splits in two. And it can do this over and over again. This means, even though we have one body, within that body, we end up with multiple selves. The best way to picture this is to imagine that inside your body, you have a collection of Siamese twins. I'm going to need to sit with that for a minute. That's a visual I never thought I'd have. I am incredibly vivid with my visuals. Sometimes they're upsetting. Okay, I have literally have Siamese babies in my body. This is fucking weird. The best way to picture this is to imagine that inside your body, you have a collection of Siamese twins. They are technically all conjoined because they all share one body. But each one has its own identity, its own desires, needs, perspective, strengths, weaknesses, and appearance. Some of these internal Siamese twins we like and identify with. Others we disidentify with, suppress, deny, and disown. We have good reason for approving of parts of ourselves and rejecting others. But no matter how we spin it, it means that we are polarized. You have experienced this polarization any time that you come to a place where you have to make a decision, and part of you says yes, while another part of you says no. When we are faced with this situation, we usually begin to play a zero-sum game internally. We make a decision, so the part of us that says yes has won, and the part of us that says no loses. It is as if the part of us that is saying no to something is standing in front of a bulldozer being driven by our other part. And instead of resolution, so that both parts feel in alignment with the whole choice being made, the one driving the bulldozer simply runs right over the one protesting. I'm going to read that one more time. I see it, but I want to read it again. I think this is really important. It is as if the part of us that is saying no to something is standing in front of a bulldozer being driven by our other part. And instead of creating resolution so that both parts feel in alignment with the choice being made, the one driving the bulldozer simply runs right over the one protesting. This creates an internal atmosphere of distrust. It is an antagonistic internal atmosphere. The Siamese twins that we tend to bulldoze the most are those that feel fear. We cannot bulldoze our fear without creating more fear. Instead, we need to take loving care of our fear. In this situation, you must consider that the part of you that is being bulldozed exists and is currently holding a very important personal truth that you need to look at instead of ignore or minimize. You have important feelings that need to be felt and needs that need to be met, but you are simply bulldozing forward with the idea that you shouldn't feel those things and shouldn't need those things. If you have drawn this sigil, you are bulldozing a part of yourself in this scenario. That is why you feel like you are moving forward and doing things in spite of yourself. You would be wise to understand that you cannot do this and feel good or manifest anything good at the same time. In this situation, you need to make sure that you move forward on decisions only after you have achieved a state of alignment between your internal Siamese twins. So I'm one of the twins, right? And the other one's in me, like a side to the coin. Damn, that's a weird way to look at that. I kind of like it. I thought she meant there was like two-headed babies in me, or however you want to look at it. Sorry, don't want to be like, but I was Okay, it's a little bit better. Okay, so it's a one-headed baby that's inside of me because I'm the other head. I think I like this day. It really gets me thinking, and that is it. It's kind of like how I think about like my life is a series of communications, and I'm really trying hard to understand those communications with myself, with my neighbor, with myself, with my husband, with myself, with my children, with myself, with my work, with myself. It's always myself. Always got to come back to that piece, right? Because I'm the one talking. Okay, and that's the hard part. We have time for one more. So we're going to go to the Viking Oracle. And this one has more than just the runes. I studied the Elder Futhark runes, which are Viking in nature, they're Norse. But Viking was more of a profession than a people. The Void is what we pulled last time. Let's see what we get this time. They're very good stuck together. Odin and Hel. Odin is Hel's grandfather. Hel is Loki's child with Angerboda, a witch. And Hel, Hel, the woman Hel, rules the underworld that we call Hel. I wonder if that's where we got it from. I still feel like there's well, there's a rune, Monos, and Odin again. Odin's popped it twice. Better. Let's give it one more and then I'll be good. Yggdrasil and Manaz, that's the same time. That's mankind. And Yggdrasil is the tree of life. But mankind is found within the tree of life in one of the realms that the roots of the tree holds. All right, so let's see. The realm of man. Which is kind of weird because there's chicks here too. Ah! See, and look at this. This is two fucking cards. God, they're so sticky. It is not cool. I did not know. Okay, I'm getting angry. So I'm just gonna, deck's down, we're good. I'm just gonna sit with my hand in the deck. I'm just gonna take a couple of deep breaths and I'm gonna cut the deck. I do not go into the readings angry. Or frustrated is probably a better word. Time for 3 breaths. And the card is stuck to another card. This is unbelievable step. The halls. This might be interesting. I often see a hallway in my mind's eye. Maybe this has something to do with that. I'm not familiar with the halls in Viking Norse myth, so we'll see. 38. One of the 9 worlds, the halls. Valhalla. Oh man. Volkavanger. Do not trust my pronunciation. All right. You will be rewarded for your work. Be brave, even if you are afraid. Now is the time to work for the greater good. Volunteer. And then we have a poem for the card itself. I am content, for I have passed from the world with a sword in my hand, blood spilled in your name. With honor in my heart, I join the All-Father. Or is it golden-haired Freya? I am carried by the winged woman screaming my name. So a Viking falling in battle is picked up by the Valkyrie on the battlefield and taken to the halls. That's the halls. The halls of Freya is one of the places the Valkyrie can go upon falling from the battlefield. They become soldiers to her. But you can also go to the afterlife and party, or you can go to hell. So the halls are going to be Freya's halls. So I believe. So here we go. To the Vikings, dying, weapon in hand, fighting to save one's community was considered the most honorable of deaths. Such warriors were rewarded in the Norse afterlife with admittance to either Freya's hall, Sessrumir, the seat rumor, in, okay, again, pronunciation, guys, just roll with me, and Folkvander all life. Sorry, wait, and Folklander, people's field, or Odin's Hall, which is Valhalla in Asgard. So we have multiple realms for the dead to go. Kind of like the Catholic Church, it was hell, purgatory, or heaven. So it was told that Freya had the first pick of the dead, even above Odin. Those whom Freya selected were carried to Sessrumnir by the mighty winged Valkyries who served her. Freya's chosen dead included brave warriors, as well as women who had died an honorable death, either those who fought on the battlefield or those who had committed suicide rather than endure rape or a life of dishonor. Freya's hall was known as a hospitable and wondrous place, described as large and beautiful in the Eddas, which is a series of poems. Those who joined Freya were free to do nothing more than practice their fighting skills in preparation for the battle at the end of days at Ragnarok. Odin's Hall, situated in Asgard, was described in ancient texts as being impressively built, guarded by eagles and wolves, and containing long tables groaning with food and mead. Like those chosen by Freya, the exemplary men that Odin selected to join him in his hall also trained to stand beside Odin at Ragnarok. Do not confuse these halls with the Christian idea of heaven, though. The halls are not places where spirits lay idle or ready to be reborn. There, life continued in ways the Vikings found ideal, celebrating, fighting, and training in happy, purposeful companionship. Admittance to one of the halls was seen as a reward for honor, for courage, for giving up one's life for the community. The halls remind us to step outside of our own needs and consider the greater good. Again, when you share, you're sharing to the greater good. You will help someone. You will. If you share kindness, if you share your ideas in an opening way, if you share harsh words, I don't know about that, but the idea, it's there. And the hall can be your private hall, whatever you think it is. I literally stand at a hall, like a literal apartment hallway, doors on either side. When I read, I see it constantly. It's how the doors react to the people. I can get really quick reads on people that way. Imagine a feather falling in front of you and you're reading a person. When I say read a person, you ever get a quick read? You walk into a room and you're like, oh, what that fucker's doing over there? Look at him. You get a really fast read, right? And you can do this however you want. There's no one way. So if you're imagining a feather falling, maybe that feather is gently like a feather would, right? But then you start to wonder, what would this feather look like if it were portraying the characteristics of the person that I am reading, like the doors in my hallway? Maybe the feather juts to the right, smooths to the left, begins to float upwards. Maybe there's chaotic movement. Maybe it continues going down steadily. Maybe it stops and stares back at you, fully aware that you are reading the energy of that person and the energy is reading you right back. It happens. Whatever that feather is doing is is the energy of the person as you're interpreting it, as I'm interpreting it. Your lens, my lens, that's where the messages are being filtered through. So that's what the message is. So be very aware and open that the message you receive is not the only message and it's coming through to you in that way because that's the way that you are choosing to translate it because of your upbringing, the culture you live in, and the ideas that you have. No blame, no shame. All right, guys, whatever you want. And if don't picture things in your head, do you ever smell things randomly that you know couldn't be in the room, like horse shit, but you're in church? Well, wait a minute, that might work. But do you know what I'm saying? Maybe you suddenly feel like, oh, something on your skin. Maybe someone's getting your attention. Maybe you hear. There are many clairs or gifts with which messages choose to come through. Translation. You are a translator. You are a linguist. And languages can be felt, heard, seen, remembered, or imagined. There's no limitation in the gifts that you have and the divinity that you hold. You are powerful and you are here to share, I believe. So thank you for sharing your time here today. You're wonderful. And I'm so glad that I got to be here with you. So YouTubers, I'm going to say goodbye. Hi, Crystal. I'm glad you're here. Hi. I just saw you say hi, because I focus on the Zoom, so I don't always look over here. But super happy you're here. I'm super happy you're here. And I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, I'm going to cut the live on YouTube. A second. I think that